You are welcome, sir. It is my great pleasure to welcome us all to this special event in honor of our founding president and first Nigerian estate surveyor and valuer, late estate surveyor and valuer John Wood Ekpenyong. May I also specially welcome our newly elected fellows billed for induction today. Established about 26 years ago, J.W. Ekpenyong Lecture has been an intellectual event which has over the years addressed the challenges and prospects of the estates industry with rich recommendations to both the government and the private sector. The theme of today's lecture is Contemporary Real Estate Crisis, a threat to Nigeria's economic growth and development. I have implicit confidence on the ability of our dear 19th president of the institution, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Bode Adedeji, to do justice to this topical theme and proffer solutions to the identified crisis. To our noble fellows to be inducted today, I am delighted to welcome you into the highest class of membership and professional qualification of our noble profession. I wish to commend you for attaining this worthy height through a long journey of professional career over a period of more than 10 years with remarkable successes. The fellowship of our institution comes with higher responsibilities and requirements of high level of ethical conduct and standards, total commitment to the aims and objectives of the institution, becoming mentors and counselors to the younger members of the profession, and acting in a position of resource person of the last resort to the institution. Your class of fellows is very special, being inducted during the 50th Golden Jubilee anniversary of the institution. The institution will continue to count on you for support of its developmental projects. I charge you to join other fellows and members in building the institution of our dream. May I seize this opportunity to congratulate your spouses and family members for supporting you to achieve this prestigious class of membership. I want to say once more, welcome to all of us. Thank you for listening. Long live NIGERIAN, long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
I'm sure we can do much better for our president. That's the president and chairman of council and indeed the commander-in-chief of our institution. Distinguished noble colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, we have amongst us here the Speaker of the Cross River State House of Assembly. So we'd like to invite him right time, we'll invite him to give us a goodwill message. But before then, the next item there is opening remark by chairman of the occasion. So I'd like to invite Estate Surveyor and Valuer Chief Emeka B. Honora Ochendowan for his comments. Chairman, sir.
Mr. President, past presidents here present, the Speaker of Cross River State House of Assembly, representing the Governor of Cross River State, members of the high table, distinguished noble colleagues, please permit me to stay on the already well-established protocol of Mr. President. I shouldn't forget to welcome my friend and the special guest of honor today, Chief Mike Ekpenyong. You're welcome, sir. Noble colleagues, as you all know, we are gathered today to celebrate the father of this institution, the very first president of our noble institution, who led the crop of young professional estate surveyors that qualified in England and returned to the country in the early 60s to establish this profession in 1969. There must have been a reason why he was the first president. I'm not sure he was the oldest. But his colleagues at the time will have found him to be a very effective leader that led them to make him the president. And I believe he led the institution very well. Unfortunately, I didn't get to know him because as at the time he passed away, I was still in secondary school. But his reputation has remained. He must have been a good man, and he must have given his time to this profession. What we need to learn from this is that all of us, every member of this profession, be you fellow, associate, student, you have a role to play. Because if these men, the founding members, didn't work hard, all of us will not be here today. Look at the members that we have here. Today, on average, our conferences, we have over 5,000. It shows that some people have given their time. It shows that some people have given their time for the growth of this profession. And I want to ask you, how do you want to be remembered when you pass on? What have you done to grow this profession? We all owe a duty, all of us, to add value to the profession. Because we need to bequeath a better profession for those who are coming behind us. Because if the founding fathers didn't do what they had to do, most of us wouldn't be here today. We are benefiting from their hard work. Look at our sitting president. For the past 2 years, I'm not sure he has had time to do anything in his office. It's really a very difficult task. Look at all the other members of the management committee. Every time they are on the air, traveling all over the country to work for all of us. And there are many of us who have not even served at any level of the institution. What I'm trying to tell us today is that those who are serving should never get tired of serving. Keep serving. Those who have not served should please start serving even from their local levels. You don't have to be president to serve the institution. In this 50th anniversary, the institution is recognizing those who have offered serious service to this profession. I'm sure tonight, some people will be so recognized. Some have been recognized in Lagos events, some have been recognized in Ibadan events, and some have also been recognized in Enugu events. And some will still be recognized in future. So I implore all of you to start today to give something back to this profession that has made you. Noble colleagues, today We are celebrating our first president, Mr. John Ekpenyong, and in line with our practice, we'll be having a lecture by a very prominent member of this profession, my successor in office, Mr. Bode Adedeji. I'm sure he is well prepared. He has also served the institution at various levels before he became president. And today, in spite of his busy schedule, as well as some personal issue that he has, I don't know if you people know he lost his elder brother, but he's here today to give us a lecture in spite of that. So please, give him a hand. But so I thank you for keeping faith to this profession. So we want to now sit down, listen carefully to the lecture, which I'm sure is going to be very, very interesting. And thank you all for coming. But your take home today is that what do you want to be remembered when you pass on? Thank you very much.
Please, I'm sure we can do much better for our chairman of occasion for that. Thank you. I'd like to recognize and invite to the high table the Honorable Commissioner for Lands, Cross River State, Professor John Ofem Ian. Please kindly step up to the high table. Noble colleagues, let's appreciate him. While he's coming, we also like to recognize our Royal Highnesses and members of the State Traditional Council that are also just coming in now. Please, there's a seat reserved for you in that direction. Please, you're all welcome. It's to have you. Please, let's appreciate this gentleman. Thank you for being here. Thank you. We'd also like to recognize the presence of Surveyor Dr. Gertrude Nja, who's representing the president of Nigerian Institution of Surveyors. I hope I got that right. Surveyor Nja, you're here. You're welcome, ma'am. You're highly recognized. Thank you. Without much ado, I'd like to hand over the microphone to the speaker to give us a goodwill message. Please jointly welcome me to the microphone, Right Honorable Ekpenyong Jonah William, Speaker, Cross River State House of Assembly. Sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. The Honorable Commissioner for Lands, Professor John Ofemiya, the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs, retiring, the Chairman, the President of this association and his able team, and also recognize the incoming Chairman. You're also welcome to Calabar. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to be here. It gives me a great pleasure to see a crop of young men of a noble profession like yours having a lecture in Calabar. I'm so proud that the late John Ekpenyong is a Cross Riverian, and he left a big mark that even after he's long gone, we are still celebrating him. That shows that whatever you do today, even when you're gone, your footprints will show. And for today, the lecture was for an intellectual content of the same profession, which I think even for the students and practitioners will benefit a lot. I asked a big question. Where are we in this profession? Is the government of Nigeria, have we recognized this profession? What are we doing to improve it? Most governments are complaining of money. When you have a window where you can make so much money to meet your needs, if we as a government able to harness just 10% of the resources I've seen here, I think we won't be complaining as a government. And I will also advise that this body should collaborate with the legislative arm of government so that there should be a legislation that before you have a property or you build a property, you must meet basic certain requirements. I don't think if proper things are done, we will be having collapsed buildings or we'll be having issues with wheels and a lot of things left, right, center, especially when you're gone. But I will advise that this body, especially the Cross River State branch, should have a synergy with the Cross River State House of Assembly for us to see how the next generation of Cross River State will benefit from your wealth of experience. We should be able also to come up with a legislation like the medical profession, that you must be a medical doctor for you to be the commissioner for health or commissioner for a particular thing. So you are not at this point seeking for the collaboration. The House of Assembly is seeking for that collaboration for us to achieve our goal. So I would say welcome to Calabar, welcome to Cross River State, enjoy yourself, but after the enjoyment, see us for us to take the state forward. God bless.
Please let's appreciate our speaker. It's not easy. It was straight to the point. I hit the nail on the head. Also like to recognize the presence and already seated on the high table, the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs, Honorable Mrs. Rita Ayim. Ma'am, please. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Also like to recognize Mr. Chidi Okoro, representing Institute of Directors here. Chidi Okoro. Please stand up for recognition. Thank you very much. Also like to invite to the microphone for a goodwill message the Honorable Commissioner for Lands, Cross River State, Professor John Ofem Yang.
Thank you. The chairman of this beautiful occasion, the Honorable Speaker, Cross River State House of Assembly, here present, the Honorable Commissioner, Women Affairs, here present, other distinguished members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me quickly apologize that I came in a bit late, but I'm happy that I'm here. I want to say that today
is a remarkable day, not just for the estate surveyors and valuers, but particularly from the ministry which I head, the Ministry of Lands, knowing quite well that we have very vital role to play as far as estate is concerned. And you also have much vital role to play as far as land and landed properties are concerned. So it's like I'm in the right place. I told myself if I don't attend this program, I'll not be doing myself any good, nor the ministry. I equally insisted that the estate department, the Ministry of Lands, all staff should shut down and be here. This is because I sincerely believe that at the end of this gathering, my staff will learn a lot and it will add value to whatever they are doing. We are here to listen to the 26th John Wood Ekpenyong Memorial Lecture and also celebrate the 50th anniversary of the institution, Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. It is a good thing to attain a certain age. The institution is 50 years old, and I strongly believe that it has made a lot of positive impacts, not only on yourselves as members of the organization, but in the management of estates across the country. It is also remarkable that I am coming from a state where the first president of this noble organization is from, and also happened to be the first estate surveyor to be qualified as such. And I did say yesterday when I had the opportunity to interact with the team that came to visit me to honor me by paying me a courtesy call, to say that Calabar and Cross River State is well known for everything that has to do with first. If I reel out a plethora of the firsts that we are concerned, we won't leave this place. But those who know the history of Calabar, first is associated with us and Cross River State as a whole. So I want to say that as a ministry and Cross-Riverians, we are ready to partner with this noble profession to ensure that structures or buildings are well scrutinized critically for the common good of Nigerians. We've heard a lot of incidents across the country, especially places like Lagos, where we hear of buildings collapsing and people losing lives. I think that is a challenge to this noble profession. And I want to quickly point it out. Besides the need to have a critical evaluation of the kind of structures or landed properties we have, I know the profession entails doing business at the same time, buying and selling of property, if at all I'm right. My observation as a commissioner for lands for the past 4 years, and I'm here for the second time as a commissioner for lands, is that most of your professionals concentrate on buying and selling without actually checking the quality of what they buy and what they sell. I want to point it out as a challenge and appeal that the practice of this profession should go beyond mere making profit. Let us also join other valuers to determine the kind of structures that are being put in place. Today, the economy is very difficult. Nigeria is a difficult place. And only very few persons can put in a lot of money to ensure that quality building is put on ground. You give it to a contractor, at one point or the other, they compromise the quality in the bid of making profit. And we, the valuers, if we don't check these excesses, then we are putting human life into danger, especially when it comes to story buildings. So whatever properties we are buying and selling, we should do a thorough and critical examination for our own good and for the good of Nigerians. Calabar is here to host you today. The John Wood 26th lecture is about to take place. I want to tell you that by the time you finish here, you will not regret that, so especially those of you who are coming to Calabar for the first time, that this program was fixed to take place in Calabar. As a ministry, we'll be with you throughout today, and we'll also seek for synergy in areas where you think we can better the lives of not just Cross-Riverians, but that of Nigerians as a whole. And therefore, welcome you once again to Calabar. I wish you a happy stay. Enjoy yourself. We are known with certain delicacies, such as Ekpenyong, Edikaikom, Afang, and a lot of things you hear that if a Calabar woman gives you, you won't want to go again. So please enjoy yourself and have a nice day. Thank you.
Let's appreciate the Honorable Commissioner. They gave us both food for thought and some things to go home with. Still in the spirit of recognition, I'd like to recognize the presence of Dr. Mrs. Chuka Icha, representing the CIPM chairperson here today. Please, if you're here, kindly stand up for recognition. Please, let's appreciate the lady. Thank you. Also like to recognize the presence of the traditional council. We have representing the Obong of Calabar, His Royal Highness Etubom Rear Admiral Ekpenyong Itam Oko retired. Please come up to the high table, Your Highness, sir, please. Here is with his an entourage, Chief Eyo Henshaw. Please recognize him. He's part of the entourage here today. He's the Assistant Secretary of the Etubom's Traditional Council. We also have Otuekong Anthony Boko. We also have Otuekong Emmanuel Basi Asukwo. We also have Otuekong Asukwo Young Edet. Noble colleague, let's appreciate this revered gentleman, please. I've also been reliably informed that the representative of the Obong has a goodwill message. If I have Mr. President's permission, I can give him. Please, let's welcome him as we give him the microphone for a brief goodwill message.
I don't know how to address you, but let me stand on existing protocol. I remember yesterday, the chairman of the Board of Trustees and the incumbent president of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers paid a courtesy visit to the Obong of Calabar. And they were well received. The interaction did not end there. They invited the Obong of Calabar for these 26 John Wood Ekpenyong Memorial Lectures. And I'm glad to be here with members of the Traditional Council. I'm somebody who is interested in the topic under discussion because there are various issues bordering on payment of compensation, the rates that you apply, and sharp practices that we have noticed some of your attorneys are meting out to the communities. These are the various issues I want to raise. And I'm quite delighted that we've been enlightened on so many things that we thought your organization represents. And I'm happy you are professionals to the core, and you are also dedicating yourselves to standards, international best practices. Outwardly, we thought your institution is about making money. But honestly, we were quite impressed with the interaction we had with the organization yesterday. We did not even know that you were fighting for the communities and the traditional institutions. Because when we look at the way compensations are paid, the traditional institutions who have the customary rights to the land are shortchanged. You pay compensation. I've given out my farmland to people to farm. You come and pay compensation for crop trees, crops planted, and yet the owners of the land part with nothing. That is not desirable. Is it the government that imposed the Land Use Act on the people? Was it for the benefit of the communities? Or government was trying to marginalize the communities? That is why the topic today, in the Nigerian poor view, is insecurity. Insecurity in the sense that the traditional institutions are not interested whether people are being kidnapped and so on. And the matter rests with the politicians. The politicians are the ones milking the communities, because without them, the landowners would benefit a lot from the Land Use Act. It was yesterday that the incumbent president of this institution enlightened me personally to the fact that there are benchmarks that you use in paying compensation. The international standard, the federal government standard, and the state government standard. But most of the time, when projects are being executed in the states, sometimes the state governments do coerce the attorneys to play along with them so as to marginalize the communities. instead of using the federal rate to pay, if it is a federal government contract, they use the state